of secrets. Kuwait, February 24th, 1991. The United States launches a ground offensive known as Operation Desert Storm to liberate the nation of Kuwait from Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein and his formidable army, the Republican Guard. Hussein has taunted American leaders for months, boasting that the United States does not have the willpower to fight a protracted ground war. However, it is the Iraqis who quickly lose their will to fight. The conflict lasts only 4 days and results in the surrender of more than 60,000 Iraqi soldiers.
There were instances where there were hundreds surrendering to a couple of guys. I mean, it was that kind of a deal where they're just surrendering.
There was a mass surrender of the Iraqi forces. Was it because, shock and awe was destroying everything around them and they were running away to keep from getting killed? Or was it because of psychological warfare?
Before U.S. ground forces fired a single shot, the Army's 4th Psychological Operations Group launched an extensive campaign designed to manipulate the Iraqi soldiers occupying Kuwait and break their spirit. Putting into action the Psychological Operations Group's motto of Verbum Vincit, or the word will conquer. This tactical communications arm of the U.S. military airdropped 30 million leaflets containing messages that encouraged Iraqi troops to renounce Saddam Hussein and abandon their posts. The group also broadcast radio and television transmissions, conveying that Hussein was a ruthless dictator whose military would be swiftly annihilated by the U.S. and her allies.
The messaging was to create fear in the Iraqi troops. It worked. What a roadmap to success from a military perspective. I mean, how else did the 4th largest army in the world collapse so readily?
The U.S. military's application of conventional psychological warfare tactics to demoralize Iraqi soldiers is well documented. But there were also news reports of a secret technology that was used to influence the minds of the Iraqis in ways that they weren't even aware of.
Years later, the idea came out of the Gulf Wars, hey, let's do this even better. Can we disrupt a person's thinking without them knowing? Just disrupt it. Maybe even clandestinely, give our signals messages the other guys can't hear. Can we do that? And what they did is they would embed a signal on the radio broadcast in the region. It was mainly just to push emotion, utilizing an electromagnetic signal piggybacked on a radio signal to create an environment of fear, to degrade the adversary.
The electromagnetic signal reportedly contained messages that, although too subtle to be consciously noticed, nonetheless instilled strong feelings of hopelessness in the minds of the Iraqi soldiers. The concept may sound like something out of science fiction, but psychologists actually have a name for this kind of manipulative mind control. It's called subliminal messaging.
Subliminal messaging is any stimulus, any message that your brain picks up that you're not aware of. It happens because the message was fast. Anything faster than 50 milliseconds, you're not going to be consciously aware of, although your brain will pick it up.
The emotional parts of our brain react much faster than the logical problem-solving parts of our brain. And so that's how sometimes these subliminal messages can get to us and make us feel something, even though when we think about it later, logically, we don't realize how that could have happened.
Some experts believe that subliminal messaging is a powerful way to influence the human mind. And they claim that this mind control technique has been used to manipulate people around the world for decades. Spring, 1957. Journalist Vance Packard publishes a book titled The Hidden Persuaders. In it, Packard Packard writes about how companies are considering using sub-threshold advertising techniques to manipulate customers into buying their products. One proposed technique involves inserting an advertisement into a movie for only a split second, too short for the audience to recognize the ad consciously, but long enough for it to be absorbed subconsciously. Packard's book serves to educate the public on the idea of subliminal messaging. However, it also incites cynicism toward modern media and corporate advertisers.
People get really angry when they know they're being manipulated. The idea that in movie theaters, somebody might
designed to emulate a CNN article, and it was spread virally on the internet and promoted by Russian botnets, which are these large groups of fake accounts that are centrally controlled, and they operate under one single master. Propaganda is not a new thing.